podcaster here with how to take a break. And on this special Vlogmas episode, I am talking about taking a break to be still. Taking a break to be still. What does be still mean to you? When I hear that phrase, I always think about being a little girl growing up and like my aunts or my grandma or something telling me, girl, just go sit somewhere and be still. Be still. And so immediately when I think about stillness and being still, I think about just sitting somewhere quietly. But cultivating stillness, especially during the holidays when I find I need it most, is a little bit deeper than that. So I'm going to read something. This is from Psych Central, and I will link this in the description box below. And it's an article called The Power in Being Still and How to Practice Stillness. It was medically reviewed by Karen Gepp, and the article is by Margarita Tartakovsky. Hope I pronounced it. If not, my apologies. And so this person goes on to say that according to the Oxford Dictionary, stillness is the quality of being quiet and not moving. Moments of stillness are possible even on the busiest days. They are within our reach whenever we need them. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. And that you can cultivate stillness while walking on a busy street, even while chaos swirls around you. And I want to start out there because when I think of stillness, I think of it as a two-part thing, right? I think about it physically as being physically still, those moments where you are physically still. But I also look at it, stillness in a way of quieting your mind. And you can either do one or the other if you're practicing stillness, or you can do a combination of both. For me, and as you will see at the end of this conversation, I'm going to show you some clips about one of my favorite ways to be still, and that's by cooking. Especially during the holidays, I cultivate stillness in baking. And in the video that will follow this, the clips that will follow this, is going to be me making cranberry orange bread, and it was crazy. It happened on a horrible day for me. Had a nervous breakdown almost. I'm not gonna say that because I feel like that word is overused, but I had a meltdown and screamed at my kids. There was a lot going on. Later apologized. Do not call defects on me. But I had gotten to a point of just extreme overwhelm. And when looking back on that, I recognize it's because all of my moments of stillness that I had usually gotten throughout the day, I had not gotten them for weeks. And so it's like my body and my mind were in a chaotic space. But for me, cooking, which some people may seem as a chore or something crazy for them, it is a way for me to quiet my mind. It's a way for me to get in the kitchen, gathering ingredients, following instructions in a recipe or things that, I'm freestyling, just going off of memories and things like that. It makes it where that's the only thing I focus on. I don't focus on like all the chaos that's been happening in my life, the craziness, the noise, and the cooking, the baking especially quiets all that down. It quiets my mind. And in the end, once my mind is quiet, I end up with a sense of peace. Another way that I cultivate stillness in my life is this daily practice I have of taking daily walks. It gets a little bit harder in the winter, but I always tell people, even when it's cold, throw on a coat and go out and just walk for a little bit. And for me, even if I have headphones on, I will find myself sometimes forgetting to have headphones on and not listening to anything and just kind of walking. And so my body is not physically still, right? But again, this is another way where I'm kind of still in my mind. I become more present in my body, and I might link to an old podcast episode I did called Taking a Break to Be Present. But walking and having that moment of stillness in my mind when I walk, it allows me to be more present. I hone in on what my body's feeling. I hone in on my breathing during that time. And again, a sense of peace because I've quieted my mind. Physically, how I cultivate stillness, meditation, sitting quietly. I would, before the 2 weeks where I had my meltdown, I was getting up early in the morning and having at least 5 minutes minimum of meditation where I was just laying flat still. That's how I like to meditate. When it was warm, I used to meditate on my back deck. I would roll out my yoga mat and just lay down flat and be still. Be still in my body, be still in my mind. Do that for a minimum of 5 minutes. And again, the peace that washed over me in that stillness. Drop a comment. Do you practice some form of stillness? How do you cultivate a practice of stillness in your life? How are you getting through the holidays? And if you looked at one of my earliest Vlogmas videos, I talked about cultivating a gratitude practice that can be also part of your stillness. You can kind of make that a little thing that you do where maybe you meditate, you journal, it's quieting your mind, it's giving you some physical stillness. How are you cultivating a gratitude practice? Are you doing that gratitude challenge I talked about in one of my earliest videos? Drop a comment, let me know all of that. Until next time, find a little time to take a break. Bye.